This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Whitmer here, and welcome into, brother, we're here for another Heel Talk, brother. It's the Heel Talk after WrestleMania, brother. The biggest Heel Talk in the world. I'm here with my co-host, the Mega Powers, the Macho Man, Soapy Muffins, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm Miss Elizabeth. For anyone who doesn't know, this is my new dog.
Hello, Soapy's new dog.
Her name's Lexi. It's not Alexis King. Don't any of you guys try to start that.
Soapy's gonna nip that in the bud right away.
It literally was just a coincidence. I didn't think about that till like 2 hours ago.
Was it 2 hours ago, or was it just now before the podcast? You're like, shoot, if I'm gonna show her off to everybody, I'm gonna say her name, and
it
they're
was
gonna think Alexis
2 hours
King.
ago.
Okay.
I was like, we got her home. She was walking around a little bit. And I'm like, Lexi's a good name. I'm like, I'll use that. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, crap. There you go, buddy.
Well, hello, the newest member to Lexi's family. I almost said Lexis.
She's a little sleepy baby.
She's very tired. She goes right to your chest very naturally. And then I'll fix my hair live on the podcast.
Sorry, buddy. I'll try to angle my head so I don't breathe on your ear.
But we are back for another Heel Talk. Like I said, this is the Heel Talk after WrestleMania. But we're not talking about WrestleMania today, Soapy. We're talking about AEW. It's an AEW podcast. Before we get into everything, though, Discord down below, greatest community in the universe. Go ahead and join that if you're not in it already. Wrestling chat is there for if you want to talk wrestling with us in the MVP community. If you want to support us, Patreon link is down below. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you love it, hit the sub button. And obviously let us know what you guys think down below. But Soapy, you ready to get into this? You ready to get into some AEW?
We're talking some AEW. As ready as I'll ever be.
So the thing we're talking about, and we're pretty much, I'm going to say, behind the eight ball, mainly behind the eight ball, because we're not one of the channels that right when it ended, we needed to talk about it, Soapy. But AEW released the footage, the CM Punk footage. Did he look bad? Did he look good? Does this mean that AEW is over? Does Tony Schiavone hate his life? Soapy, I got to ask you, what did you think of the CM Punk Jack Perry all-in footage that we got shown on Dynamite just, 24 hours, like a little bit under 24 hours ago?
Yeah, at the time of recording it, basically just a little under 24. I mean, definitely it was something. I mean, like, there's not, I don't want to be like, yeah, guys, short episode. No, like, I think it was something that, like, it was, like, it's not mythologized. I forget what the word is.
Methodically?
No, but, like, where people kind of, like, built up the mythos around it of where, like, we thought it was going to be more action-packed than it actually was.
We hyped it up.
We saw it, we're like, yeah. To when we saw it, it's like, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, you know, like, you hear about, like, oh, you know, like, this person, like, they were throwing punches and, like, all the original stuff, and you see that, and it's like, the closest there is to a punch is when, like, CM Punk pushes him.
He pushes him, and then, like, he does go and, like, lunge behind Gorilla.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, it's definitely something of, I think it got too hyped up. I do think it's stupid to show it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I do find it funny that a lot of people got mad they showed it, and it's like, didn't we all want to see this as soon as we found out it was on camera? Like, I vividly remember being like, you know what, guys, I want to see it.
Yeah, but, like, so I know everyone wanted to see it. And the people that are like, oh, well, I'm mad that we got to see it, and they were calling to see it, those people are idiots. However, the one thing I sit here, Soapy, and I can't help but think this, is how Tony Khan sat there and went, first off, to show it anyways, but two, to go, you know what? Right now's the right time to do this. Right now, I know that this decision from Tony was, and I'm guessing because I'm not a personal friend of Tony Khan's, I don't have his number on my cell phone as I unplugged my phone.
If you would like to send me your phone number, I'll be your personal liaison.
Yeah, Tony. You know what, Tony? Just hire me. Just hire me to run ideas through me. Just basically, hey, Ricky, would this be a good idea or a bad idea? And I'll let you know. Hey, is this a good idea or a bad idea? Well. Hire Soapy too. Soapy knows how to. Soapy can do social media for AEW. He can do customer service for AEW and talk to all their fans.
Yeah, I can be like, hey guys, it's me, the social media manager.
We got rid of that bum Lexus King.
Yeah, I was right all along.
But like, my biggest thing was right now the right time. And when I say that is, you got your competitor, and I know that AEW, WWE are always going to be seen as competitors. Like, there's the people out there, you watch their content, and they go, well, wrestling is wrestling, and like, it's just good that we have opportunities in other companies. And it's like, I use my mocking voice. They're not wrong. It is good that we have another company that could be like a higher level than TNA, a higher level than New Japan Pro Wrestling, that Americanized can kind of be on, that's not WWE. However, it's moves like this that just make me go, how concerned are you with WWE and what they're doing? Because I know a lot of it that went into it was the Punk interview with the Ariel MMA Helwani. Hour. Yeah, with Ariel Helwani. Thank you. I was blanking on his name. But then also it's like WrestleMania just happened. WWE had their biggest weekend. So unless this was going to be an absolute kill shot, the optics of this was like, hey, Tone, this probably isn't the right time. And like, it makes me think, does AEW just need to forget about WWE? Stop mentioning them, stop thinking about them? Do they need to just worry about themselves?
Oh, they've needed to do that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's the problem of, and it's one of the major things that I think AEW really struggles with as a company itself right now, of every time they start getting momentum, someone does something and it just shoots them in the foot every time. Because realistically, like anyone who's been watching AEW, and I know one of you dummies out there was like, oh yeah, I did 300 of them. I know one of you dummies out there were thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, realistically, 2024 was setting up to be a really great year so far.
Yeah.
Because the fact of, like, we have the debut of Ospreay, and Ospreay's been cooking.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I think it's 2 weeks till Dynasty, I think?
Yep.
Either a week or 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we've
been building up to that. Yeah, I know Dynasty, I think, is the 21st, I think? But
yeah, the 21st, you're right. So it's next, not this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, so basically it's like you got like a week to build up to it, and like and they've been building up a lot of good stuff to it. Realistically, we could see Swerve become champ. Obviously, we have that banger of a match that's going to happen between Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. We got the tag match between Young Bucks FTR, which, as much as I will say, I don't like the two teams' chemistry when they work together. It's definitely something of every time I watch them, I'm just like something just doesn't click.
Yeah.
At least for me. I don't know if that's for other people. For instance, I'm not a huge Young Bucks fan. But I definitely think that like they were building up a lot of momentum, and then just all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're gonna devote an entire segment to a guy who's not in our company anymore. Who, like, yes, he took shots on a podcast. Congrats.
Well, I mean, so I'm gonna say this too, and I don't know, because like I'm not a WWE defender. Yes, I'm a CM Punk fan, but like I don't think he's perfect. I think both parties are at fault here. Like CM Punk is at fault too. You obviously can tell that both parties have leftover. It's almost like when you break up with somebody and you just can't get their name out of your mouth. Like one party, the other party, you're both like trying to win the breakup. both of them just need to realize there's no winning the breakup. And especially, I will say, for AEW, there is especially no winning the breakup, because just the dynamics you're in, and I'm not saying this putting AEW down, it's just an optics thing. They are, and probably will forever be, little brother to WWE.
Oh, absolutely.
Where it's like every shot you take, it looks petty because you're punching up, they're punching down. And really, it's like with CM Punk, it's like, yeah, his interview was kind of bad, kind of crappy. Like, you had Cody Rhodes, the next day? I don't know if it was due damage control or just it's Cody being Cody. Like, Cody had nothing but nice things. Cody. He has nothing but nice things to say about AEW. It's like the same thing
with who's the guy they had on the day after? It's like Joe Hendry, I think, is their name. Like, it was another guy who worked for AEW, and like Ariel Helwani asked him again.
Yeah.
Which, realistically, the only thing I hated about the entire situation is it just shows Ariel Helwani just hates AEW.
Yeah, that too.
Like, he has beef against Tony Khan, which, I mean, like, it's one thing, like, it's fine if you don't like a company, it is what it is. But, like, going out of your way to ask every single person, like, do you have any problems with AEW? It's like, is that not the most fishing question you could ever ask?
Yeah.
It's like, notice how when Cody gave his answer, not even a second thought moved past it.
Because he knew there was no beef. There was no, there was nothing spicy there.
Yeah. Like, I also just love and this is my favorite part of it, of where when you watch the Cody one, you can tell Cody does not like Ariel Helwani.
Yeah.
You can tell, because it is, Cody's gone full politics mode every time he goes on there.
Is when Cody's on there, it's the Marshawn Lynch, I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Well, because it's like, look how candidly and quick he answers everything. Like, he doesn't go on rants. Like, when CM Punk was on there, like, it felt natural. It just felt like you were having a conversation with someone. Like when Rio was on there, when Joe Hendricks, when you have other people who go on that show, you know, like, it comes off as very natural, very like conversation.
Cody's like, I have prepared responses. I don't want to be.
He's gone full Terminator mode of like, I'm not answering that. No. Where it's like, that's the only part of it that bothers me is that it's like you have someone like Ariel Helwani who's trying to fish for, you know, basically for clickbait.
Yeah.
Realistically, hating AEW gets you clicks because everyone and their brother, for some weird reason, has a hate boner. Which, if it's just because of Tony Khan, fine. The people who wish that the company would go out of business, you're a clown. And there's a specific reason I call you a clown. People need to understand, as much as you may not like AEW, wrestling needs an AEW. Because remember how absolutely terrible the product was not even 6 years ago. I don't forget 2019. I don't remember Roman Reigns getting dog food dumped on him. I'm not going to forget that.
I mean, now I will say, a part of that is the VKM era. VKM is no longer with WWE. Trips ain't doing that. However, I do agree with you in the sense AEW is important, because let's say AEW never existed, right? For the people
Cody never comes back.
What?
Cody never comes back.
Yeah.
Well, as much as people... Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
Well, I was just going to say, Edge... If AEW doesn't exist, where's Edge right now? Where's Sasha right now? Where's Tony Storm, Samoa Joe? They'd probably find other companies, but the eyes aren't on them as much as AEW as if they were in TNA or over in Japan.
Yeah, like, imagine, we would have a wrestling landscape where Will Ospreay stuck overseas... Because realistically, he was never going to come to WWE.
I don't think it hurts him, though.
Yeah. Like, what? The only thing that changes is what? Jay White's in WWE then?
Probably.
Because otherwise, it's like, Sasha probably wouldn't have come back. She probably would have stayed longer in Japan.
MJF is in WWE?
MJF would probably just go somewhere else. He'd probably just go where he was before.
MJF isn't running NXT?
Yeah, like, it's the reason I bring up, though, that I say, like, Cody wouldn't have come back.
Yeah.
Is because I need people to understand. All right, I gotta lean forward for this one. Lexi's gonna force herself a little bit back on camera. This is the thing. People need to understand. Like, yes, Cody was a big-ish name on the indies, not to the level he was when he came back to WWE. Not even close. Because realistically, if you asked any North American wrestling fan, hey, where's Cody wrestling? I have no clue.
Nobody knew. Yeah.
Because the reason he got popular is because guess who he teamed up with when he went to Japan?
The Young Bucks?
Yeah. And Kenny Omega. The hottest thing in New Japan at the time with the Elite. Like, I don't want to downplay Cody, because obviously I like Cody. I love that Cody's succeeding. I love to see him succeed. But he needed the Young Bucks. He needed the Elite. And he needed AEW to reintroduce him to an American audience. Now, obviously, people would be like, well, the American audience and AEW fans didn't like him. Because, people need to understand how bad Cody was booking himself in AEW. There is a reason why people started booing him.
Was he booking his own feuds?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's the one who put the stupid stipulation that he could never challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship. He's the one who kept putting himself in stupid matches with Sammy Guevara. He's the one who kept putting himself into random matches with people that no one cares about. Like, could you tell me what Shawn Dean's record is in AEW?
I could look it up.
I don't even think he's wrestled a match since, 2022.
What I feel like with that just quick reaction is, like, when you say the no championship thing, I think it runs into something where it's like, and I see this with Cody, he could be the type of guy where it's like, he's booking the feud. It's almost like he doesn't want to be that guy where it's like, oh, I don't want to be egotistical. It's not all about me. Let me take myself out of the championship picture so we could put other guys over instead of me. Whereas now in WWE, you have a Trips, and I'm just saying Trips because he's the head of content, who's not Cody, who can say, no. Like, I get you.
Like,
you want to be humble. You're the guy. We're giving you this moment. You deserve it. Because sometimes we think that, oh, we don't deserve this nice thing. Let's give it to other people. When it's like someone has to come in and go, no, you deserve this. We're doing this for you. You're the one that's going to bring us into the next era.
Yeah. Which is why it's just like, to me, it's the whole thing of, like, when I talk about, like, the bad PR stuff around, like, even just bad media coverage around AEW is, like, people have jumped to conclusions about why Cody left. Because realistically, we kind of have an idea of it has something to do with Brandy, and that the fans were not very nice to Brandy, which, mind you, obviously,
did he leave because of AEW or because WWE was interested?
I think his end goal was to always go back to WWE. Like, realistically, and I know people are going to be like, wow, so, like, he never cared about AEW in general. No, that's not true. Yeah. Because the fact of, it's like he said in the Ariel Helwani podcast, if he's not there, if Brandy's not there, if the rest of the Elite, and, like, the two other people he named that aren't Tony Khan, because I don't remember their name.
It probably doesn't happen.
He literally is like, yeah, if all these people are not in the same room, it never happens. Where it's like, that's why, to me, it'll always bother me when people are like, well, he hated everyone in the company. It's like, no. Cody actively still talks very positively about them. He's very obviously still friends with the Bucks because he still keeps doing random shout-outs to them. Yeah. Because when he does the too sweet every once in a while, he did the finger gun to the WrestleMania sign. It's just like,
I mean, in one of his video packages for WrestleMania, they used a picture of Cody and the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Where it's like, it bothers me when people try to put phrases like that in the way of, like, no, it's very clear it's not these two that are the reason. Like, obviously, this kind of veered away a little bit from the Wembley thing, but, like,
well, it all goes into it.
Yeah. Over, like, realistically, it's a bad media move. Like, should they have shown it? No. Do I care they showed it? No. I don't have a reason to care. I'm not making money off of it.
Now, do I care that they showed it? No, but yes. The only reason I'm saying I care that they showed it is they didn't need to. That's the only thing. Like that, and that's like with me hearing you talk, and the first thing like I'm thinking of is one of the memes that's going around right now on Twitter and stuff is it's a picture of Shivani from Bash at the Beach 2000. And then it's a picture of him last night after the footage was shown. And people are like, it's the same energy. Shivani must hate his job. The way I looked at the photo, the one from last night that's been going around, is like, it almost reminds me of like a father or a grandfather who, like, somebody that's obviously younger than them, who they care about, could be a son, could be a nephew. They do something that they're just disappointed in. Yeah. Like, ooh, that is a very disappointing action. Like, I felt like Shivani was very disappointed in everything that was going on yesterday, because, like, with wrestling right now, I think about, and I'm going to bring WWE into this because, like, this should have been the podcast, Soapy, and it could have been. We could have said screw the footage, but I kind of wanted to talk about it because it's a bonehead move. But WWE had arguably the biggest WrestleMania weekend, minus night one. We're gonna forget night one ever existed, except for that ladder match. Night one
didn't exist.
The ladder match happened. Everything after that, I don't think happened.
The ladder match and the Gunther match happened.
Yeah, those are the only two that happened. Everything else,
like, and Rhea and Becky was okay.
Oh, you know what? The tag match at the end happened because that sets up the main event for night two. So three things happened night one. But, like, regardless as a whole, WWE had their biggest WrestleMania ever. The most excitement that I could remember probably since, like, I'm trying to think, because as a child, my parents never bought the pay-per-views for me. I think the last one I could think of, and maybe I'm wrong, would be like X7. The excitement, like, after a Raw, like, that was the one where you had Stone Cold and The Rock were the main event. Dude. And, like, coming out of that one, like, other than that, like, I don't remember a WrestleMania where there was this much excitement about the company moving forward, to where if AEW is smart and if Tony Khan is smart, he stops all this petty BS. You've got the footage. You've got like Tony Khan coming out and say, well, WWE never even asked if Jon Moxley could be a part of WrestleMania. Like, if Tony Khan stops being so petty, maybe, just maybe, there could be a way where we all get what we want, Soapy, and both companies actually get to work together. That would be like, and I'm with the I don't think it will ever happen. But I think the pettiness is just one of the things that stands in between that. And I don't want that. I don't want anything to stand in between that, even though I think ultimately we will never get the AEW WWE relationship that we want.
Yeah, I think that's primarily just never going to be a thing, because realistically they are direct competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the whole thing of, because I remember, I mean, this is an age-old conversation. This is a conversation as old as time. Yeah, Lexi, I see you. But, like, it's the conversation that we had in the wrestling chat between me and Retro. Yeah, stop trying to bite me, Lexi, alright?
Well, Soapy Muffin.
Yeah, Lexus King is attacking me through my dog. No, like, it's the age-old conversation that we had in the wrestling chat between me and Retro, of where I was like, they'd never work together because WWE doesn't benefit working with them.
Yeah.
Of where it's the whole thing if AEW's the only one who gains anything. Because realistically, like, if AEW was the size of TNA, which, also, a side note, people need to shut up about the WCW 2000 thing. One, half of you are not old enough to remember WCW 2000. Also, two, do you guys see David Arquette? So it's like, do any of you guys see David Arquette as the World Heavyweight Champion right now?
No.
I don't. Do you see Scott Steiner being the biggest star in the company? I don't.
However, I'm going to throw this out here. Could it be similar because is Tony Khan... Now, there's differences because one's a wrestler, one actually owns the company, or owns the wrestling company. Is Tony Khan's influence on AEW similar to what Hulk Hogan's influence became on WCW?
Not really. So, to me, AEW is still like just miles better than WCW, like in its dying days.
Yeah.
Because realistically, like when people say like one at this point, AEW dying's the boy who cried wolf. I see it every other week of like they're not going to be on TV another month. Another month they're done, and it's like you guys just need to shut up until something actually happens. But, like, the reason why it's not similar enough is because with Hulk Hogan, Hogan just wanted to make himself the star.
Yeah.
Where Hogan basically got all these people in power, and it bit him in the butt. Because when it turned around and it realized, oh, hold up, wait a second, it costs too much money. He's the reason we're going broke. After Hogan got all of his friends paid. And they're like, wait, Hogan, you're the problem. And he's like, that's not going to work for me, brother.
That's not over here, brother. Look at my Hulkamaniacs, brother.
He's like, listen, brother. Listen, dude.
Listen, dude.
Yeah, to where it's like, realistically, people need to understand of AEW would have to be so bad to even get close to WCW 2000. Because people will bring up the viewership, which it's like, one, this is the thing, realistically, because people will be like, oh, look at the Nielsen report, because the Nielsen report is what everyone uses for ratings, and that's where they get like around the 600,000 people or whatever.
Yeah, but like, doesn't that just use TV? That doesn't use like online streaming?
It doesn't count online streaming, DVR, or basically just anything like that. To where then it's like, you'll get that versus like when Warner Brother puts out a number, and they're like, oh, it's 4 million.
Yeah.
Realistically, they're not pulling 4 million. Let's be completely honest here. Even me, as an AEW fan, I'm like, they're not pulling 4 million.
Yeah.
It's also the fact of, like, also because Warner Brother kind of does the goofy thing, but it's what a lot of TV networks do. If they don't just take the hours that AEW's there, they lump in, like, the 2 hours before as well.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like, oh, it's 4 million views, because there tends to be a lot of carryover from that 2 hours before into AEW. Obviously, like, you get a massive drop-off, because it's always, for anyone who doesn't know how breakdown ratings for a show is, basically you take what the average rating is. Basically, so what you do is there's, like, 3 parts of the show. Obviously, depending on how many hours of the show there's
like,
either first...
Like, for Raw, there's hour 1, hour 2, hour 3.
Yeah. Or basically, you just take the average of what the viewership is.
Yeah.
Or realistically, it's like block 1, block 2, block 3. But I think with Dynamite's 3 hours, I think. Honestly, I don't know. I never pay attention to how long I'm watching something. But, like, you take the average, and that's where you get, like, the 676,000 or whatever, which people are going to be like, oh, that number's probably wrong, too. Shut up, for starters. But, it's like...
Yeah, it's a 2 hour. It's about 125 minutes, including commercials.
Yeah, and that's also excluding the 5 million times a year that they go over.
Picture in picture?
Yeah, well, you get picture in picture. You also get when they get like the run over time.
We're going over on this one.
We're going over, and it's like, dude, how down bad is Warner that they're like, dude, I don't care what you take behind it, just go ahead.
Let's be completely honest. TNT, it's usually after Dynamite. It's like, all right, what Marvel movie or what movie am I getting? What action movie am I getting?
Yeah, what random rerun of a show are we gonna have here?
Just like how USA is like, what do we need before Raw? Just put an SVU in front of it. Just put an SVU in front of it.
Put Law and Order.
But Eric in the Patreon, thank you for watching, says people eventually leave to other promotions for better opportunities. Like,
yeah, I mean, it happens. It always happens. Of like, I'm not saying like, oh my god, no one's gonna leave one side or the other. Like, it always happens. Realistically, Ricky Starks is gonna leave to go to WWE.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna be like, it's gonna suck that he's gonna leave. Like, it's the same thing of like, I guarantee there's gonna be someone in WWE who leaves and goes to AEW. And then I get to hear, you sounded like a WWE talent. I get to hear those people come out of the woodwork again. But like, it's always been a thing that where it comes with like the crossover of like talent moving from one show to the other. I have always hated that I know this has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, bringing up the talent moving.
It goes in. It's see, this is the great thing about this conversation. It's all related. It's all related.
Well, it also doesn't help that this is something I'm passionate with talking about because the fact of I get so tired of seeing people who don't understand wrestling act like they understand wrestling.
We need to get you a Captain America shield that's like AEW Dynamite colors.
At this point, I'm the AEW defender. I've actively talked about I like WWE more.
Yeah.
Like, it's the fact that I
you
just
get
become
thrown into this AEW role.
Yeah, like I've been typecasted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've always hated when there's the double standard of they signed someone from WWE. Wow, so they had to sign a WWE guy to get ratings. Wow, what a bunch of clowns. They'll be AEW will sign Ricky Starks. They're like, dude, biggest signing ever. This guy's a star, and it's like, so it's a problem because why?
Yeah.
Like, I always hate it. I understand that people will be like, that people will always, have a double standard for it. I understand. I'm not trying to be a douche. I'm not trying to be mean when I say it. I just can't stand the double standard when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah.
Because realistically, I understand. WWE is the biggest company. It's always going to be the biggest.
Yeah.
That's like, I had the conversation in the wrestling chat. For those of you who are in the Discord, you could probably go find it.
Mm-hmm.
Before I said, I'm like, realistically, AEW is always going to be the little brother.
Well,
no one is passing them.
Well, and it's not just like the little brother thing. It's also, and I'm not saying with this point that it's a bad thing. AEW is different. It's a different style of wrestling. It's a different style of production. And that's not bad. But it's not and it probably will never be the polished style and production of WWE.
Yeah, because they follow more in the line of New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I put in the wrestling chat of where I'm like, people need this. Like, a lot of the constructive criticism people try to give AEW is just be WWE.
Yeah. Well, and
it's like, man,
and
that's almost never worked for anyone ever.
It's because the American fan for how many years?
For multiple
WWE
decades.
was it. Like, that is what our brains have been trained to. That is a wrestling program.
It was 2001's when WCW folded?
Yeah.
Or was that when
2001,
ECW folded?
2001, 2002. Because the Invasion angle was right after that, which Eric says the Invasion storyline was out of place at times.
Yeah.
That was just a crap show, regardless.
Yeah. Well, that's also just because they couldn't get anyone important from WCW. Because all of them, they're like, we are not paying that contract.
Yeah.
Because realistically, it's also, I just think it's the funniest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And an aside before I get back to talking about AEW.
Go ahead.
I love that it's like WWE bought ECW. They're like, dude, we get this library, we get this. And they're like, oh, Heyman, why is there so much debt?
Paul Heyman, why is there so much debt?
Oh, that's literally what happened. It's the funniest thing. Because they bought it and they're like, you know what? Oh, like we get access to this video library. We can make all this stuff about how ECW actually sucked the whole time. Like WWE did in the early 2000s with you know every promotion they bought. They're like, oh, garbage. That's why they suck. Then it's like they went to go use it and they're like, hey, Paul Heyman, why is there millions of dollars in debt? And he's like, I don't know.
Beats me.
I was like, if I knew, I wouldn't have been there. No, it's like, to me, like for like comparing AEW to another American company, it's more like ECW.
Yeah.
But realistically, like AEW's never been the WCW to WWE.
You see them more as the ECW to WWE.
Yeah, where like realistically, they never were going to compete. The only chance they ever had to compete is first when they signed Punk. That was the closest they were ever going to get. Because realistically, and mind you, I say this as a person who's watched AEW since the start. Like the New Japan-esque style doesn't mesh with American fans.
No, it doesn't.
Because it's the whole thing is, it's people. AEW caters to a certain type of fan. They cater more towards like the hardcore wrestling fan.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, for instance, like I've talked about this before. They don't have someone like Michael Cole telling you every little detail of a story. They're like, you have a brain, you have Google, use it. There are times of where it's like, okay, no, like you need to explain some things.
Yeah.
But when they do, like one, realistically, like when people, like, because it's when the CMLL guys came over. Like, people were like, well, how do I know who any of these guys are? And literally, it's like, listen to commentary. Turn commentary on where you hear Excalibur be like, wait, those are CMLL wrestlers. Said their names.
Excalibur will let you know because he knows everything. Excalibur will let you know because he's got to know everything.
The only problem I have with it, though, is people will complain. We're not being told. It's like, no, we're being told. We're just being told by Excalibur.
We're just being told by Excalibur, which is not the guy I want to hear.
Because it's like I said with AEW. I'm like, can they be better with promos and do more of them? Sure. That's not their thing. We're not going to watch AEW for promos. You're watching in-ring work. Realistically, that's why I think, like, eventually when MJF does end up leaving, because there's a chance he does, I don't think it's with this contract, because realistically, I think he's already re-signed. Or if not, his contract got extended due to injury.
I don't think he has. That's the thing. I think he's literally a free agent.
Well, no, I think his contract probably got extended with injury. Because AEW does do that.
Good point. Like WWE has done.
Yeah. Except they're not as much of douche canoes about it as Vince used to be. I mean, they're still kind of douche canoes about it, but I mean, that's also any injury extension for a contract sucks.
Yeah.
But, like, I have a feeling he's not actually a free agent, he's still under contract, and they're going to basically be like, oh, until you come back, it just gets extended. Where, like, I know, it's also realistic, I think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
I know people want him to leave because, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people just don't like AEW, which is fair.
Now, I will say, and this is a completely different topic that I did not expect to get on, but I'm going to say it anyways. Not CM Punk, MJF depends on how it'll be interesting to see what like you said, the injury extension, how much time that is. Because there's a potential for things to line up where Cody's the biggest babyface in wrestling right now. Roman Reigns is the biggest heel in wrestling right now. However, Roman Reigns is starting the way out, in my opinion. Starting the way out. He'll come back right before SummerSlam. He's going to cut a promo against Seth. He'll feud with Seth. That'll probably go to the Royal Rumble. The Rock will screw him at the Royal Rumble. Next year at Mania, we get Rock Roman. Boom, that's the end of Roman. And he's going to go to Hollywood. There is a potential that MJF, at that time, if he's a free agent after next Mania, I would say there is a debate that could go on in his head of WWE as a whole for a top heel. I could be the biggest heel in wrestling at WWE. That's the only way I see him jumping ship, is if WWE has the hole and he can fill the biggest heel of the top company. That's it. Otherwise, he's going to stay in AEW and probably be there the rest of his life.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he'll be there his entire life, because realistically, there's not a lot of lifers in wrestling. Because I think he stays at least till his mid-30s. Because the whole thing is when people are like, oh, he signs one contract that then goes. It's like, what, so he leaves when he's 30? Like, why not just continue to collect the bag from the company who's going to pay you more than WWE would?
Well, that's the thing. And I got to pull up the Discord really quick because we had this discussion like months ago in the wrestling Discord. I got to look up what I had said. Let's see. Basically, it's the point of, and I'll let you talk as I look it up, is like, let's say his next contract, he signs a 5-year contract, because I've always said Tony Khan would be a knobhead if he didn't sign MJF for at least a 5-year contract. The thing is, if he jumps to AEW at that point, what are the WWE at that point?
All right, just doing that just for the people who are tuning in and out.
Yeah. When he jumps ship to WWE, what is going to be the age of all the other wrestlers? And I remember I put it in the Discord. I put it in the Discord. I mapped it all out. I just got to find it in the Discord, which I'm going to do right now while you're talking.
Yeah, no, I definitely think at some point MJF will go.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, though, and this is my personal thing, and this is what I'll stand by, I don't believe that the appeal of going to WWE to be the biggest star is a selling point at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because realistically, like, you could go to AEW, get paid more, work a lighter schedule, be able to control your own schedule more than anything. So, like, if you want to wrestle more, you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get guys like Mox, Bryan Danielson. I mean, Max Caster, as much as I don't like him anymore, he keeps doing indie jobs. You get guys who just show up in indie feds that are AEW contracted wrestlers because they treat them, like contracted workers, not like, no, you're an employee of me. You don't get any benefits of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that the only selling point at this point for WWE is that you go to you're on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Realistically, like, as long as the Khan family is funding AEW,
Mm-hmm.
WWE's gonna have a real fun time trying to match any contract that they try to push out.
Mm-hmm.
But with MJF, the 5-year thing, I know a whole bunch of the talent would be really old. Like, realistically, though, and this is just my thing, I don't think MJF would be as good in WWE as he is in AEW.
Because he would have to fit the WWE style.
Well, yeah, like, just the fact of, like, I know they're starting to be more lenient with it, but, like,
Mm-hmm.
MJF's thing is he's very crass when he's a heel.
Yeah.
Like, he says some very messed up things. Like, they're not going to let him do the Brian Pillman Jr. promo he did.
Yeah.
When he was talking to Brian Pillman, he's like, actually, wait. And he stomped on the ground to wake up his dad because he was saying his dad was in hell.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to let him do that.
That was such a great promo. It was such a good
you want to talk
promo.
about burying someone by proxy, not even meaning to actually just put him in the dirt like
Mm-hmm.
that. But, like, realistically, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think he'd be as good when he goes to WWE, because the problem is, like, people, I don't think they'd bend the rules for him.
Mm-hmm.
They bend the rules for The Rock because it's surprise of The Rock.
And
Also,
because
the
he's
fact-
on the board now.
Yeah, The Rock could just be like, dude, eat my shorts. I don't care. I almost said something different.
Yep.
I had to pull the Bart Simpson out there.
Eat my shorts. But like,
Yeah.
so I have most of like the names I was thinking of. Like, let's just say 5 years down the line happens. Here are some of the names in WWE and how old they would be. Here's the question we're gonna play, Soapy, or the game we're gonna play. I will give the year or how old they'll be. We have to answer, will they still be in the company or not in the company?
Okay.
The first one, and this is in no particular order, Sami Zayn in 5 years will be 44 years old. He turns
think he'll
40
still be
this year.
I think he'll still be there.
Then you have AJ Styles. This one, he's gone because he's 46. He turns 4.
I was going to say, AJ will be gone.
He's already. I saw.
It's insane how good of a wrestler he still is at 46.
Yeah, I saw something today on Twitter that he made a comment like that there's not a day he wakes up where it doesn't hurt him to get out of bed, and then he knows retirement is coming soon.
Yeah.
So like he'll probably retire in what, the next year or two?
I'm gonna cry that day, dude. I'm gonna feel so old.
That AJ Styles is done.
Yeah.
He does not look 46.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fact that it's insane to think of,
Mhm.
and he started in wrestling was 2000.
Yeah.
As he started, what company did he start in 2000, Ricky?
Did he start in Japan or TNA? I can't remember.
Neither. WCW, baby!
Yeah, okay. I was like, it was probably WCW.
He was one of the people that WWE had the chance of signing. They're like, no,
You're
he
right.
sucks.
You're right. Oh, you're right.
We don't want him.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
He wanted to go there in the
Oh,
merger.
you're right.
He's like, oh
you
my
were
god, wait, I get to go there, and they're like, dude, he stinks. Get him out of here.
You
and
are
it's just like,
so
man,
right.
how much that backfires when you look back at it.
But here's the thing: if that never happens to him, there's a potential or a possibility he doesn't get to the levels he's at now.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing people
when
gotta
Vince was
remember.
like, you have to be 6'7" and sweaty to get featured. As a mid-carder.
Kevin Owens turns 40 in a month, so we'll say 45.
He could still be there.
Braun Breaker, he's one of the young guns.
Oh, Braun will still be there.
He's going to be 30 or 31.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
He turns 27 later this year. The Usos, they're going to be, let's see, Jay Uso, Jimmy Uso. They will be,
they've been wrestling for a while, I think,
they're 38. They're going to turn 39 later this year, so 44.
They may still be there.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, though, like with some wrestlers, it's hard to tell when they're retired. Like
Seth
Rollins,
was
one of those ones that Seth I think will be done.
He turns 38 in May, so he'll be what? We'll say 43.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone. I think he's going to be one of those guys that he retires early, or not early, but like he retires before. Like someone like Sammy. I'm
adding. Here's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm adding a year if they turn, like for example, Drew turns 39 in June, so I'm gonna say 44. So he'll be 44.
I mean, who knows? Drew may not even be in the company by the time Scotland comes around.
He
who knows?
May not. CM Punk. This is the big one. CM Punk will be 51. He turns 46 this year.
He'll be gone.
Cody
Rhodes. The reason I
Rhodes.
think he's going to be gone.
Go ahead.
It's CM Punk gets hurt all the time now. His body can't keep up with wrestling anymore.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes will be 44.
Cody will still be there.
And then the last one I have is Roman Reigns. He turns 39 in May. He'll be 44 as well.
I think he'll be gone.
And that's the thing that I was looking at is all of these guys that are at the top of WWE right now in 5 years are going to be in their mid 40s. And it goes into this WrestleMania, we're going into a new era, right? Because Roman's not champ anymore. Sooner rather than later, we are going to be going into another new era where I kind of think of it in the thing I'm going to relate it to is kind of like how it felt coming out of the Attitude Era into Ruthless Aggression.
Yeah, where it's like a passing of the torch thing.
Yes,
we're going to see a lot of the old guard
Stone
take the
Cold
backseat.
left. You had The Rock left
for Hollywood.
But the main one that stayed to carry it through to be the top guy was Trips.
Yeah.
Because that was when Evolution going into...
Because that's when he got elevated. Because they're like, oh, everyone's gone.
Yeah. The first
or as
one.
Ospreay says, grinding on the boss's wife. Or the boss's daughter.
Well,
It'd be weird if he was grinding on Linda McMahon.
To be honest, let's just call spade a spade, Soapy. He wasn't grinding on the boss's daughter. He was drugging her, getting her drugged so that he could marry her. Don't forget that vignette. I'll never forget that.
And
drugging Stephanie McMahon so he could then marry her.
People wonder why we can't go back to old wrestling. And it's like, do you guys want a Katie Vick storyline again? Of watching Undertaker a dead body? Or not Undertaker Triple H dead body? Because I don't. My language, but I mean, I just have to say it as it is.
Somebody's like, I gotta tell it like it is, brother.
It's like, we can't go back to that. But no, I think it's the only thing with when it comes to the ages of wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, though, there could be a person who takes that major spot that's not even in the company yet.
Yeah.
Realistically, you have a lot of the guys who are in NXT right now. You have I don't know how old Ilya is off the top of my head. You have guys like Ilya, Trick, Mello, Oba.
So, by the way,
those guys
very quick aside. When that vignette debuted, I was 9. Still remember it.
What, the Katie Vick one?
No. The Triple H drugging Stephanie so that he could then marry her while she's drugged.
I mean, entirely fair. I also did not expect to keep Lexi in here with me this entire time. I don't know if it shows on camera. I've been sweating my butt off.
No, it does not show.
Because me and this dog are very warm.
I will say, during the intro, I was like, okay, how much do I go through this? I'm like, he's not putting Lexi down. He's not
Oh.
I'm like, okay, we're rolling
gonna,
with it.
I thought she was going to keep moving around like she was before we started recording.
But then she just stayed still. She's been a good girl.
Yeah. Well, she's also asleep.
Yeah, she's been a good girl, like I said.
Yeah, she's been asleep this like entire time. Anytime she slightly moves, it's just her readjusting. She's not awake.
But like you said, Trick, Mello, Ilya, I'm gonna say Gunther. You've got
Braun,
Oba.
Gunther. Yeah, like, and then it's also who knows who randomly pops up from a developmental that we're like, you know what? Yeah, he's good.
Which I will say, you know what that makes me very excited for? The women's division in the future.
Because the women's division stacked.
The women's division in NXT
insane.
is amazing.
Yeah, like we're gonna basically get a women's revolution 2.0.
Like Cora, Roxanne, Thea Hale's killing it.
Yeah.
I even like the stuff that like the whole thing with like right now you've got like JC Jane and the Bad Girls against Kiana James and what's her name?
Fallon Henley.
Yeah, Fallon Henley. I'm trying to think who the other one is. Brinkley is good. Brinkley Reese, I think, is her name.
Yeah. Well, you also have Lash Legend, who's really good. Like
she's with Meta-4 right now.
Yeah. I hope that group goes away. That group stinks.
You don't like Noam Dar, don't you?
No, Noam Dar annoys me. Like,
I could tell it was because of Noam Dar.
I mean, Noam Dar's the main unifying force of why no one likes that group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, he's doing a good job of making us not like him.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely think it's one of the things that to kind of relate this back just to the AEW stuff, where realistically, like, who knows who leaves one company and goes to another? Because, like, saying it as a joke, I know Drew's not going to actually leave, because otherwise, that would be the greatest thing that he basically just got to trash talk Punk and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to wake up now? No, just readjusting.
Just readjusting. He did get to just trash talk him and leave.
Yeah. But, like, no, he's going to re-sign, but, like, realistically, you know, like, who from the main roster leaves and then goes elsewhere? Like, and, like, vice versa. Like, realistically, we'll have the people, because I think it's, 2027 is, like, a big year for contracts in AEW.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, how many people does WWE re-sign that come up? Like, do they bring back Malachi? Do they bring back Miro?
I feel
they bring back a bunch of these other guys.
I feel like Malachi's a big one that's going to come back. And the only reason I feel that way is because Zelina's in WWE. Yeah. Well, and Zelina in WWE, like... I don't know their relationship and if it's a strain working in different companies, but like usually you want to be and usually we see them flock to the same company if possible. Yeah.
Or like that's the thing. It's a whole thing. And it's related back to the original topic. Jake Perry really did just get scapegoated. That's crazy.
Wait, what? Jake Perry?
Like Jake Perry really did get scapegoated.
He caught a big fat L from this.
Yeah, he caught the fattest stray in history that he's not even involved in why they released it. And like he just basically now everyone's like, "Wow, Jake Perry, you loser!" And he's like, "I didn't even do anything." All I'm saying,
the 50s. What do you say? What do you say F me for?
I just want to point out one thing where I said in the wrestling chat that it's meant to get heat on people. You know whose T-shirt has sold out?
Jack Perry.
Since that. Yeah, Jake Perry's scapegoat T-shirt has sold out since that video's aired.
Oh.
So, Idiot Retro, I was right.
I'm just looking at the WWE roster, trying to think who could leave in the future for AEW, and I can't think of one.
It's the whole thing is just it's the weird like you can never super predict because right now WWE keeps it very close to the chest if wrestlers aren't happy. Before it was like every 5 days it'd be like, yeah, this wrestler hates it here.
Or is it just wrestlers in WWE are more happy? Is it that?
That certainly has something to do with it.
Not that they agree with everything, but like they're not being
I think it's also a lot of people just look at it as like, if I make it to WWE, why leave?
Exactly.
Where it's like realistically that's why I'm saying like one, for those of you out there, stop rooting for AEW to fail. I know you have this weird vindication of like, I want to be right. Like, realistically, the product in WWE will suffer if AEW fails, because now they don't have someone who's going to be like, you know what? You suck. I want to go watch something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is my biggest thing, and I keep like going to do this. And I'm like, oh, Lexi's in my arms. I can't do that.
Here's the last thing that I'll say that I was saving, that like I have a problem with Tony Khan airing the footage. Tony Khan, from what I seen on Twitter, had said the reason why he aired it was to get eyes on Dynamite and get up hype for AEW Dynasty. My mindset goes, first off, with Dynamite, they had a timer. Like, we're going to show the footage in X amount of time. How does that help the rating when I can just time in, okay, I got an hour and a half, and then I'll leave, I'll watch something else.
It's because it spikes the average. Because let's say it's like at the start of the second hour,
because like a ton of people come in. Yeah.
To where then it's like it boosts that number up a lot to where it increases the average.
So
like, I think
so you're not even gaining. It's not about gaining viewers who are then gonna because that's the problem I have with it. You're not gaining viewers that are gonna stay with your product for long term. It's let's get a bunch of viewers in right this one time to make us look good. Because guess what? Those viewers that came in for the footage, if they're just coming in for that, they're not going to watch Dynasty. They're not going to pay for Dynasty.
Well, it's also, let's be real, a lot of those people aren't watching AEW anyway.
Exactly. So it's like, how does that help? You want to, in my opinion, you want to gain viewers who are actually going to watch the product long term, become fans. That's how you grow a company, not by, let's spike a rating every once in a while.
Yeah. Realistically, I think they should have just said that it's to reintroduce Jack Perry to the fans, because like,
is he with AEW still?
Yes.
Okay.
He's still under contract. He's just in New Japan.
Okay.
They did the whole thing where he ripped up his contract to try to seem like he's not, but he is.
Okay.
He never got off contract.
Mm-hmm.
Where
the one thing I will say I love is the memes of like, okay, how much money are we gonna bet that Adam Copeland comes out next week? Hey guys, so there's been a lot of negativity in the news, but let's talk about the positives.
Yeah, I just find it incredibly funny.
Mm-hmm.
That like I do find it funny they got Edge to do it. I do appreciate that you got the newest guy.
Yeah,
I'll be like, guys, this place is great.
The most WWE guy right now in AEW.
Yeah,
he hasn't gotten the WWE stink off of him yet.
Yeah, it's like we're all like, yeah, Edge. He has Metalingus still. Sounds a little different.
Who would have been the perfect one to do that right now?
I don't know.
You know who I think it would have been?
Ooh.
Hangman Page.
Oh, because you have the Punk fans who are like, Page stinks. He's not even good.
Could have been that, but like you don't care what Punk fans think because Punk's not in AEW. I'm just trying to think who's the one guy who's healthy right now. Because Omega would have been the guy, but he's hurt obviously with the stuff he's dealing with. Jericho just pisses everyone off right now.
Keep Jericho off my screen.
MJF is injured. MJF would have been the perfect one.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, MJF would have.
What about, Darby's injured. Sting's retired. Sting's not even.
At the time, Darby wasn't hurt. I don't think Darby was hurt at the time.
Oh, you're right. Did that happen?
Because I think that was the show he broke his foot, right?
Yeah. What if you got Eddie Kingston to do it?
Once again, it's the whole problem of most people perceive your company by the media around it. Everyone would just dog it because people are like, Eddie Kingston sucks. And it's like, this is the thing. I'll agree. In-ring work, not the greatest. You can't tell me he's not one of the best promos in wrestling.
He's one of the best promos in wrestling, dude.
Yeah. You just get people that are like, he's just a fat New Yorker. It's like, yes. And?
He has a skill on the mic and a personality that is like, oh.
Yeah, because when he talks, like, he just says it how it is. He's like, dude, I don't care.
You know what era he would have been great in?
Attitude?
The Attitude Era.
Of, like, it's just the whole thing of, honestly, at this point, if I'm Tony Khan to bounce back from the footage and just the backlash you're getting, at this point, one, just shut up about WWE, stop mentioning them. You should have done this like 3 years ago.
Yep.
Shut up about them.
Has it really
Move
been
on.
3 years since the All In incident? No, right?
No,
It's been
All
like
In
a
was
year.
last year.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about just that.
Oh, shutting up about
AEW's
WWE.
lifespan.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm smart.
Because realistically, because also when people forget, Punk took a shot when he came back. Let's not act like it's only just been,
But I pointed out earlier, it's not just AEW. Punk is at fault too.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that.
I know. I just want to remind
about,
the fans that it is that you're right. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, because it's when Punk came back. That's when he's like, I left wrestling blank years ago, and now I'm back. Like he did that. Where people are like, realistically, one, random aside, if I'm using the people who've been defending Triple H this week, when he never mentioned him by name. At that point, was it really a shot? Punk never said WWE's name. Sorry, I just get annoyed that I see people defending a guy who doesn't even acknowledge you exist.
Yeah.
I don't even think we brought up the Will Ospreay stuff on the show.
You did a couple times.
Yeah. But basically, Ospreay was cooking. And you can't try to pull the, he didn't say his name, it could have been about anyone. Oh, what random wrestler brought up that, they wanted a lighter schedule, and now all of a sudden, Triple H is like, well, if you want a lighter schedule, you're running from the grind. Shut up. I'm defending him.
I could totally see how someone that got burned would say that, though. Like,
I'm getting like super sleepy. She's like freaking out in my arms.
Yeah, probably because she hears my dog barking in your headphones.
No,
she's like, dog.
She's like asleep. She keeps doing the thing of where like dogs move in their sleep. Yeah. That's what she kept doing.
Okay, but Soapy, that's kind of the bottom line. That's kind of where I think we'll end this. Is like AEW. The main thing of this, just take a line from Will Smith. Get WWE. Get their name out yo mouth. Get them out your mouth. Focus. Just do what most people do after a breakup. Just focus on you, boo. Just focus on you.
Drink a lot and cry when you're alone.
This is your new you best me. Like CM Punk.
Oh God, this is my hoe era.
CM Punk couldn't handle you at your worst. He doesn't deserve you at your best.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve me my A bad. He doesn't deserve me my A dub.
My AE bad. He doesn't deserve me. Oh, but that's going to do it for Heel Talk. Let us know what you guys think down below. If you love the podcast, hit that subscribe button down below. If you like it, hit that like button. Help with the algorithm. Support us on Patreon. That link's in the description. Join the Discord. That link is in the description as well. Go follow us on social media. Those links are in the description. This man's running the Instagram. So, he's the one that posts all our Instagram videos. So shout out to Soapy and shout out to JD who does our TikTok stuff as well. But welcome, Lexi. You're always welcome on the podcast whenever you want to be on it.
At some point she'll get too big. I can't do it.
She just jumps up on the desk and like,
she knocked this whole thing over. Like, I need people to understand. Like,
yeah.
All right, she's already this big.
She's going to get bigger.
2 months old big.
She's like, why are you lifting me up?
Yeah, don't worry. She'll start falling asleep as soon as I put her back down.
But that is going to do it for Heel Talk. Thank you guys for everything you do. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
As always, we'd like to thank the people who make these videos possible, our patrons, whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you'd like to become a patron, click the link in the description below. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Entertainment, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.